Money. For most, it's a simple medium of exchange, paper and coin that facilitates our daily lives. But consider this. Could money be far more than just a tool? Could it be a profound mirror, reflecting not just your bank statement, but the hidden landscapes of your mind? What if the greatest obstacle standing between you and the financial life you desire is not your salary, nor the state of the economy, but an invisible narrative, a silent script that you have unknowingly followed for years? This journey we embark on today is about uncovering that script, and if necessary, rewriting it completely. Welcome. Over the next series of discussions, we will delve into the very foundations of wealth, not just the strategies and tactics, but the core beliefs that shape our financial realities. This initial exploration, this very first chapter, is dedicated to awakening what we call your financial mindset. This is not about complex economic theories. It is about the deeply ingrained attitudes, assumptions, and beliefs you hold about money, wealth, and your own capacity to achieve financial well-being. Your financial mindset is the unseen architect of your monetary success or struggle. It dictates your decisions, fuels your habits, and ultimately crafts your destiny. Many individuals live shackled by limiting beliefs they may not even consciously recognize. Perhaps you have heard or even internalized phrases like, "Money is the root of all evil," a misquote often used to demonize wealth itself rather than the unhealthy attachment to it. Or maybe the subtle insinuation that rich people are inherently greedy has colored your perception, making the pursuit of abundance feel somehow morally compromising. A particularly insidious belief is the quiet whisper of, "I am simply not destined for wealth," or "people like me do not get rich." These are not harmless thoughts. They are potent seeds of self-sabotage. They grow into a reality where opportunities are missed, risks are never taken, and potential remains tragically unfulfilled. As Carol Dweck, a renowned psychologist, articulated in her groundbreaking work, Mindset, individuals with a fixed mindset believe their abilities are static, unchangeable. Applied to finances, this means believing your financial situation is set in stone. Conversely, a growth mindset embraces the idea that abilities, including financial acumen, can be developed through dedication and hard work. This distinction is paramount. The power of belief, as Napoleon Hill emphasized decades ago in Think and Grow Rich, is a formidable force. A desire for financial improvement, when backed by unwavering faith in one's ability to achieve it, can move mountains. But if your underlying mindset is one of scarcity, fear, or unworthiness, even the best financial strategies will falter. It is like trying to build a skyscraper on unstable ground. The structure might look impressive for a while, but eventually, the flawed foundation will cause it to crumble. This series aims to equip you not just with bricks and mortar, the practical tools, but to first ensure your foundation, your mindset, is solid, fertile, and ready for true growth. This is not about wishing for wealth. It is about systematically cultivating the mental environment where wealth can take root and flourish. The journey begins now, by daring to look within, by questioning the narratives you have accepted, and by opening yourself to the profound possibility that you can, indeed, reshape your financial world from the inside out. This understanding is the critical first step before any talk of budgets, savings, or investments can truly resonate and lead to lasting change. Are you ready to awaken that giant within? Now that we have begun to explore the profound influence of our financial mindset, we must turn our attention to the first practical cornerstone of lasting financial security: Imagine a ship setting sail on a vast, unpredictable ocean. Before the captain charts a course for distant, prosperous lands, their foremost priority is to ensure the vessel is seaworthy, equipped to withstand any sudden storm. In your financial journey, this seaworthy vessel, this essential shield against life's inevitable tempests, is your emergency fund. The establishment of a robust emergency fund is not merely a prudent suggestion, it is a non-negotiable financial imperative, the very bedrock upon which all future wealth-building aspirations must rest. Too often, individuals, spurred by the allure of quick riches or complex investment schemes, neglect this foundational step, only to find their ambitions capsized by the first wave of unexpected hardship, a job loss, a medical crisis, or an urgent home repair. Consider the stark reality faced by millions. Statistical data from numerous reputable financial institutions consistently reveals a concerning percentage of the population lacking adequate emergency savings, sometimes even less than a few $100s. This precarious position leaves them a single unforeseen event away from potential financial ruin, forced into high-interest debt or a desperate sale of assets just to stay afloat. This is not a path to prosperity. It is a cycle of financial vulnerability. Financial experts like Dave Ramsey have long championed the initial goal of a modest, accessible emergency fund, often starting around $1,000, before tackling larger debts, precisely because it provides a crucial psychological and practical buffer. This fund is not an investment intended for growth. It is an insurance policy against derailment, your first line of defense. So, how do we construct this financial fortress? The universally accepted target for a fully funded emergency reserve is typically 3 to 6 months' worth of essential living expenses. This includes necessities such as housing, food, utilities, transportation, and crucial insurance premiums, not discretionary spending on entertainment or luxuries. The journey to this goal, especially if you are starting from scratch, might seem daunting, but it begins with small, consistent steps. Scrutinize your current spending habits to identify areas where non-essential expenditures can be redirected. Even modest amounts, set aside diligently each pay period, will accumulate over time. Think of it as laying one brick at a time. The key is to automate this process if possible, treating contributions to your emergency fund with the same priority as your most critical bills. Regarding where to house these funds, accessibility and safety are paramount. A high-yield savings account, separate from your regular checking account to avoid temptation, is often an ideal choice. It should be liquid, meaning you can access the money quickly when truly needed, without penalties or delays. The psychological benefits of possessing a well-stocked emergency fund are immeasurable. It significantly reduces financial stress, knowing that you have a cushion to absorb life's shocks. This, in turn, empowers you to make clearer, more rational financial decisions, rather than those driven by panic or desperation. It grants you the freedom to navigate career changes, health challenges, or economic downturns with greater confidence and less disruption to your long-term goals. This fund is your financial peace of mind, an anchor in the often turbulent seas of personal finance. Without it, you are perpetually sailing too close to the rocks, one unexpected gust away from disaster. Therefore, before we even whisper the word investment or dream of elaborate wealth creation strategies, we must first dedicate ourselves to the unwavering discipline of building and maintaining this sanctuary of security. It is the unglamorous, yet utterly indispensable, First, act in the play of achieving true and lasting financial independence. With a foundational emergency fund either established or actively being built, our next crucial battle on the path to financial sovereignty is against a pervasive and often crippling adversary: high-interest debt. This form of debt, most commonly found in credit cards, payday loans, and certain types of personal loans, acts like an anchor, dragging down even the most earnest efforts to move forward financially. Understand this: high-interest debt is not merely a financial obligation. It is a relentless thief, silently siphoning away your future wealth and peace of mind through the insidious power of compounding interest working against you. It is a financial wildfire that, if left unchecked, can consume your resources and derail your long-term aspirations. The distinction between so-called good debt and bad debt is critical here. Good debt, typically associated with appreciating assets like a reasonably priced home or an investment in education that enhances earning potential, can be a strategic tool. Bad debt, however, particularly debt incurred for depreciating assets or consumable goods coupled with exorbitant interest rates, offers no such strategic advantage. It merely enriches the lender at your profound expense. The mathematics of high-interest debt are brutal. A credit card balance with an annual percentage rate of 18, 20, or even higher can take decades to repay if only minimum payments are made, with the total interest paid often far exceeding the original amount borrowed. This is the stark reality of compound interest in reverse, a vortex that pulls you deeper into financial servitude with each passing month. Every dollar paid towards high interest is a dollar not available for saving, investing, or building the life you desire. Confronting and systematically eliminating this debt must therefore become an urgent priority. Two of the most widely discussed strategies for tackling multiple debts are the debt snowball and the debt avalanche methods. The debt snowball method involves listing all debts from smallest balance to largest, regardless of interest rate, and making minimum payments on all but the smallest, to which you allocate any extra funds. Once the smallest debt is paid off, you roll over the money you were paying on it to the next smallest debt, creating a growing snowball of payment power. This method is often lauded for its psychological benefits, as achieving quick wins by eliminating smaller debts can provide powerful motivation. The debt avalanche method, conversely, prioritizes paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first, while making minimum payments on others. Mathematically, this approach saves more money on interest over time. The best method often depends on individual psychology. Some thrive on the motivational boosts of the snowball, while others prefer the pure mathematical efficiency of the avalanche. The crucial element is not which method you choose, but that you choose one, commit to it, and attack your debt with unwavering resolve. The offensive against high-interest debt also requires a conscious shift in spending habits and financial behaviors. This means rigorously scrutinizing your budget to free up additional funds for debt repayment. It involves a commitment to cease accumulating new high-interest debt, which may necessitate cutting up credit cards, or at least storing them away from easy access. For some, negotiating with creditors for a lower interest rate or a more manageable repayment plan can be a viable option. Consolidating multiple high-interest debts into a single, lower-interest loan might also be considered, but only with careful due diligence to ensure it genuinely improves your situation. Ultimately, escaping the shackles of high-interest debt demands a potent combination of disciplined action, strategic planning, and a profound understanding that your financial future is too valuable to be mortgaged to exorbitant interest payments. It is a declaration of financial independence, a reclaiming of your hard-earned resources from the clutches of predatory lending. Victory here is not just about a zero balance. It is about liberating your future potential. Having confronted the shackles of debt and fortified our defenses with an emergency fund, we now arrive at a pivotal juncture, taking conscious control of our current income through the disciplined practice of budgeting. For many, the very word budget conjures images of restriction, deprivation, and tedious a spreadsheet. However, a budget, when properly understood and implemented, is not a financial prison, but rather a meticulously drawn map to liberation, a powerful tool that transforms ambiguity into clarity and aspiration into tangible progress. It is the art of intentionally directing your money where you want it to go, rather than passively wondering where it went. Without a budget, you are navigating your financial life without a compass, susceptible to every whim and impulse, often drifting far from your intended destinations of savings, investment, and ultimately, freedom. The core principle of budgeting is simple yet profound. You must spend less than you earn. While seemingly obvious, the complexities of modern life, a constant barrage of marketing, and the ease of credit can make this fundamental rule surprisingly challenging to adhere to consistently. A well-crafted budget brings awareness to your spending patterns, revealing areas of unconscious leakage or misalignment with your true financial priorities. One highly effective and widely adopted budgeting framework is the 50 divided by 30 divided by 20 rule. This allocates approximately 50% of your after-tax income to needs essentials like housing, food, transportation, and utilities. Roughly 30% is designated for wants, discretionary spending on lifestyle choices, entertainment, dining out, and hobbies. The remaining 20% is directed towards savings and debt repayment, which includes contributions to your emergency fund, investment accounts, and accelerated payments on any outstanding high-interest debts. The beauty of this framework lies in its simplicity and flexibility. The percentages can be adjusted to suit individual circumstances and goals. For instance, someone aggressively tackling debt might temporarily reduce their wants allocation to bolster their debt repayment percentage. Another powerful method, particularly for those who desire a high degree of control, is zero-based budgeting. With this approach, every single dollar of income is assigned a specific purpose before the month begins, ensuring that income minus expenses equals zero. This forces a meticulous examination of all expenditures and ensures no money is left unassigned or unaccounted for. This can be more time-intensive initially, but offers unparalleled clarity and intentionality in financial management. Regardless of the specific method chosen, the foundational practice of tracking your expenses is indispensable. You cannot effectively manage what you do not measure. Utilize budgeting apps, spreadsheets, or even a simple notebook to diligently record where your money is flowing. This practice often uncovers surprising revelations about spending habits that were previously unnoticed, such as the cumulative impact of daily small purchases or subscription services that are no longer providing value. This newfound awareness is the first step towards making conscious, empowering changes. It is crucial to reframe budgeting not as an exercise in self-denial, but as an act of self-empowerment. Harv Eker, in his work on the millionaire mindset, often speaks of managing money in a way that allows for both responsible saving and guilt-free enjoyment. Similarly, Ramit Sethi advocates for conscious spending, focusing your resources on what truly brings you joy and value, while ruthlessly cutting costs on things that do not. A budget helps you achieve this balance by providing a clear framework for your financial decisions, aligning your spending with your long-term aspirations rather than short-term impulses. It allows you to say yes to the things that matter most, because you have planned for them, and no to the distractions that derail your progress. This discipline, consistently applied, transforms your income from a passive resource into an active tool, sculpting the financial future you envision. It is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice and commitment. Beyond the mechanical structure of a budget lies a more profound skill, the art of conscious spending. This is where financial discipline transcends mere number crunching and evolves into a mindful alignment of your expenditures with your deepest values and long-term aspirations. In a world saturated with relentless marketing and societal pressures to consume, mastering conscious spending is not just a financial tactic. It is an act of reclaiming your autonomy and a declaration of your personal priorities. It involves a fundamental shift from reactive, impulse-driven purchases to proactive, value-based decisions. This chapter is dedicated to cultivating that discernment, enabling you to derive maximum life satisfaction from your financial resources, rather than fleeting gratification followed by regret. The modern consumer landscape is a battlefield for your attention and your wallet. Advertisements are no longer confined to traditional media. They permeate our social feeds, search results, and even our private communications, employing sophisticated psychological triggers to encourage consumption. The concept of keeping up with the Joneses, a desire to match the perceived affluence of one's neighbors or peers, further fuels a cycle of competitive and often unnecessary spending. To navigate this environment successfully, you must develop a robust internal filter, a set of guiding questions to apply before any significant, non-essential purchase. Ask yourself, do I genuinely need this, or do I simply want it? This distinction, though seemingly simple, is often blurred by clever marketing that frames desires as necessities. Probe further. What true, lasting value will this purchase bring to my life? Consider whether its utility or a joy will endure beyond the initial novelty. Crucially, ask, does this purchase align with my long-term financial goals, or does it divert resources from them? Every dollar spent on an unaligned want is a dollar not working towards your financial freedom. The philosophical underpinnings of minimalism offer valuable insights here. Minimalism, at its core, is not about deprivation but about intentionality. It is about identifying what truly adds value to your life and eliminating the rest, the clutter, the excess, the distractions. Applied to personal finance, this means prioritizing experiences over possessions, quality over quantity, and long-term fulfillment over short-term impulses. Ancient Stoic philosophers like Seneca also spoke extensively about contentment and the dangers of being enslaved by material desires. He argued that true wealth lies not in having many things, but in having few wants. This perspective encourages a re-evaluation of what constitutes a rich life, shifting the focus from an endless accumulation of goods to an abundance of time, freedom, and meaningful experiences. Practically, cultivating conscious spending involves several actionable strategies. Implement a cooling-off period for non-essential purchases above a certain threshold. If you still desire the item after 24 or 48 hours, or even a week, then it may warrant further consideration. This simple delay often diffuses the immediate emotional urge to buy. Become a discerning researcher. Compare prices, read reviews, and explore alternative, more cost-effective solutions that meet the same underlying need. For instance, borrowing a rarely used tool instead of buying it, or choosing a high-quality, durable item that will last longer, even if it has a slightly higher upfront cost, can be more economical in the long run than repeatedly purchasing cheap, disposable alternatives. Challenge yourself with no-spend days or weeks to reset your consumption habits and rediscover a joy in simple, free pleasures. The goal is not to live a life obstaculos austerity, but to ensure that your spending is a deliberate expression of your values and a strategic allocation of your resources towards the life you genuinely want to build. This mindful approach transforms spending from a source of potential stress and debt into a tool for enhancing your well-being and accelerating your journey to financial independence. Thus far, our journey has focused on building a secure foundation, reshaping our mindset, erecting an emergency fortress, dismantling debilitating debt, mastering our budget, and cultivating conscious spending habits. These are essential defensive and organizational maneuvers. Now, we transition to a more proactive, offensive strategy for wealth creation, the art and science of expanding your income horizons. Relying solely on a single source of income, typically a primary job, in today's dynamic and often volatile economic landscape, is akin to balancing your entire financial well-being on a single, precarious leg. True financial resilience and accelerated wealth building often necessitate the cultivation of multiple income streams. This chapter explores the mindset shift and practical steps required to unlock this powerful financial lever. The traditional model of a lifelong career with one employer providing unwavering financial security is increasingly becoming a relic of the past. Economic shifts, technological disruptions, and unforeseen global events can impact job stability with little warning. Diversifying your income sources acts as a powerful insulator against such shocks. If one stream diminishes or disappears, others can provide a continued flow, safeguarding your financial stability and reducing stress. More than just a defensive measure, however, multiple income streams significantly amplify your capacity for wealth accumulation. Each additional source, even if initially modest, contributes to your overall financial firepower, accelerating your ability to save, invest, and reach your financial goals much faster than would be possible with a single income alone. The first step in this endeavor is a crucial mental shift from being merely an employee or consumer to becoming a value creator. Ask yourself, not just, what job can I get, but what value can I provide that others would be willing to pay for? This reframing opens up a vast array of possibilities. Your existing skills, honed through your primary employment or hobbies, may be directly marketable. Perhaps you possess expertise in writing, graphic design, web development, teaching, or a particular craft. These can often be transformed into freelance opportunities, consulting gigs, or small-scale businesses. Consider your passions and interests. Often, the activities that bring you the most joy and fulfillment can, with a bit of entrepreneurial ingenuity, be monetized. Do you love baking, fitness, photography, or organizing? There are countless examples of individuals who have turned their passions into profitable side hustles or even full-time ventures. As Chris Guillebeau highlighted in The $100 Startup, many successful businesses begin with minimal capital, driven by passion and a clear understanding of a market need. The digital age has democratized entrepreneurship and income generation to an unprecedented degree. Online platforms facilitate freelancing marketplaces, connecting skilled individuals with clients globally. E-commerce platforms allow anyone to set up an online store with relative ease, selling physical products or digital goods such as ebooks, courses, or software. Content creation through blogging, vlogging on platforms like YouTube or podcasting can generate income through advertising, sponsorships, or direct support from an audience. The key is to start small, experiment, and learn continuously. Not every idea will be an immediate success, but each attempt provides valuable lessons. Invest in yourself by acquiring new, in-demand skills through online courses or workshops. This continually enhances your value proposition. Remember, even if a side income stream begins with just a few extra $100 a month, that additional capital, when wisely managed and invested, can compound significantly over time, becoming a powerful engine for your financial growth. The journey to multiple income streams is one of proactive exploration, persistent effort, and a belief in your own capacity to create value in the world. It is about transforming your latent potential into tangible financial returns, actively shaping your economic destiny rather than passively accepting it. As we progress on our journey toward financial mastery, we now encounter a strategy that marries discipline with efficiency: the automation of your financial flow. This is not about relinquishing control, but rather about strategically designing systems that work tirelessly for you, ensuring your financial goals are met consistently, even when life gets busy or willpower wanes. Automating your finances is akin to setting a well-charted ship on autopilot. It navigates towards your destination with precision, freeing you from the constant need for manual steering and reducing the likelihood of human error or emotional decision-making. This chapter will guide you through the principles and practical steps of setting up a financial system that supports your long-term prosperity with minimal ongoing effort. The human mind, for all its brilliance, is susceptible to fatigue, distraction, and emotional biases, especially when it comes to money. Relying solely on daily discipline or sporadic bursts of motivation to save, invest, or pay bills on time can be an unreliable approach. Financial automation acts as a powerful countermeasure, removing the friction and a decision fatigue often associated with managing personal finances. By setting up automatic transfers and payments, you transform good financial intentions into consistent, tangible actions, executed without requiring your active intervention each time. This systematic approach significantly reduces the chance of forgetting important payments, which can lead to late fees and credit score damage, or failing to make regular contributions to savings and investment accounts, which can derail long-term wealth accumulation. The cornerstone of an automated financial system is the principle of pay yourself first, a concept popularized by authors like David Bach. This means that as soon as your income arrives in your primary account, a predetermined portion is automatically transferred to your priority accounts, your emergency fund, your savings goals, and your investment vehicles. This ensures that your future self is prioritized before discretionary spending can erode those funds. Setting this up is often as simple as arranging recurring transfers through your online banking portal. For instance, you might schedule an automatic transfer to your high-yield savings account for your emergency fund on the same day you receive your paycheck, and another to your brokerage account for long-term investments. This seemingly simple act shifts saving and investing from an afterthought, something you do with whatever is left over, to a primary non-negotiable financial commitment. Beyond saving and investing, automation can streamline your bill payments. Most utility companies, lenders, and service providers offer auto-pay options. Enrolling in these ensures bills are paid punctually, avoiding late fees and protecting your creditworthiness. However, it is crucial to maintain oversight. Regularly review your bank and credit card statements to ensure all automated payments are accurate and to identify any unauthorized charges or subscriptions you no longer need. Automation should enhance control, not lead to complacency. Consider using budgeting apps that can link to your accounts, categorize transactions automatically, and provide a clear overview of your automated financial ecosystem. This allows you to monitor your progress and make adjustments as your income or financial goals change. The power of an automated system lies in its ability to build positive financial habits by default, making consistent progress towards your goals, the path of least resistance. It frees up mental energy, reduces financial stress, and allows you to focus on other important aspects of your life, confident that your financial foundations are being diligently managed in the background. This systematic approach is not a shortcut, but a smart, sustainable strategy for long-term financial success. With our financial house increasingly in order, a robust emergency fund in place, debts under control, income streams diversifying, and an automated system managing our cash flow, we now arrive at the exhilarating stage of actively making our money work for us, investing. For many, investing can seem like a daunting and exclusive realm, reserved for financial wizards or the already wealthy. However, investing, at its core, is not an arcane gamble but a disciplined, long-term plan to grow your capital and build lasting wealth. Accessible to anyone willing to learn and apply fundamental principles. This chapter aims to demystify the world of investing, dispelling common fears and misconceptions, and to introduce you to the foundational concepts that will empower you to sow the seeds of future prosperity. One of the most potent forces in the universe of investing, and indeed in all of finance, is compound interest, famously referred to by Albert Einstein as the eighth wonder of the world. Understanding and harnessing this power is fundamental. Compound interest is the interest you earn not only on your initial principal, but also on the accumulated interest from previous periods. Over time, this creates an exponential growth effect, transforming even modest, regular investments into substantial sums. Conversely, as we discussed with debt, it can work devastatingly against you. When investing, however, it becomes your most powerful ally. The earlier you start investing, even with small amounts, the more time compounding has to work its magic, underscoring the immense value of time in the wealth-building equation. Patience and consistency are therefore key virtues for the long-term investor. Before deploying your hard-earned capital, it is crucial to grasp a few core investment principles. First, invest in what you understand. This advice, often attributed to legendary investors like Warren Buffett, cautions against venturing into complex financial instruments or speculative ventures that you do not fully comprehend. Your understanding of an investment is your first line of defense against unnecessary risk. Second, the principle of diversification is paramount. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Spreading your investments across different asset classes, industries, and geographical regions helps to mitigate risk. If one investment performs poorly, others may perform well, cushioning the overall impact on your portfolio. Third, embrace a long-term perspective. The stock market, for example, can be volatile in the short term, with prices fluctuating due to various economic and geopolitical factors. However, historically, over extended periods, well-diversified portfolios have tended to deliver positive returns. Attempting to time the market by predicting short-term peaks and troughs is a notoriously difficult, if not impossible, task, even for seasoned professionals. A more reliable strategy for most individuals is to invest regularly and hold for the long term, riding out a short-term volatility. Finally, it is essential to understand the concept of risk tolerance. All investments carry some degree of risk, and it is crucial to choose investments that align with your individual comfort level with potential losses, your financial goals, and your investment time horizon. Generally, younger investors with a longer time horizon can afford to take on more risk for potentially higher returns, while those modern to retirement may prefer more conservative, capital-preserving investments. Understanding your own risk profile is a critical step in constructing an appropriate investment portfolio and avoiding emotionally driven decisions during periods of market turbulence. Investing is not about getting rich quick. It is a deliberate, methodical process of building wealth over time. Armed with these foundational principles, understanding the power of compounding, committing to diversification, adopting a long-term view, and knowing your risk tolerance, you are well equipped to begin exploring the specific investment avenues that can help you cultivate a prosperous financial future. This is where your financial journey truly begins to accelerate, as you transition from merely managing money to actively growing it. Armed with a foundational understanding of investment principles, we now venture into the practical realm of constructing an investment portfolio that is both suitable for your individual circumstances and designed for sustainable long-term growth. The financial markets offer a diverse spectrum of investment vehicles, each with its own risk and reward profile. The key is not to chase the latest investment fad or the highest promised returns, but to build a well-diversified portfolio that aligns with your financial goals, risk tolerance, and time horizon, a strategy that favors steadfast progress over speculative gambles. This chapter will explore common investment avenues appropriate for beginners and emphasize the importance of a disciplined, long-term approach. For many embarking on their investment journey, low-cost index funds or exchange-traded funds, often referred to as ETFs, represent an excellent starting point. These funds aim to replicate the performance of a specific market index, such as the S&P 500 in the United States, the FTSE 100 in the United Kingdom, or other broad market indices relevant to your region. By investing in an index fund, you effectively gain exposure to a wide array of companies within that index, achieving instant diversification with a single investment. The primary advantages of index funds and ETFs are their low management fees, broad market diversification, and historical tendency to outperform a majority of actively managed funds over the long run. This approach, championed by figures like John C. Bogle, the founder of Vanguard, emphasizes capturing the market's overall growth rather than attempting to pick individual winning stocks, a notoriously challenging endeavor. Investing directly in individual stocks, particularly shares of established, financially sound companies known as blue-chip stocks, can also be part of a diversified portfolio. However, this requires more research and a deeper understanding of individual company fundamentals, industry trends, and overall economic conditions. If you choose to invest in individual stocks, it is crucial to conduct thorough due diligence analyze financial statements, and understand the company's competitive advantages and growth prospects before committing capital. Avoid making investment decisions based popularly on tips from friends or unverified online sources. Bonds, which represent a loan made to a government or corporation in exchange for periodic interest payments and the return of the principal at maturity, are generally considered a more conservative investment than stocks. They can provide a stabilizing element to a portfolio, particularly for investors with a lower risk tolerance or a shorter investment horizon. Real estate can be another avenue for wealth creation, either through direct ownership of properties or through real estate investment trusts, commonly known as REITs, which allow you to invest in a portfolio of income-generating properties. However, direct real estate investment often requires significant capital and active management. It is imperative to reiterate that this discussion provides foundational knowledge and does not constitute specific investment advice. Before making any investment decisions, particularly those involving significant capital, it is highly recommended to conduct extensive personal research and, if necessary, consult with a qualified and independent financial advisor who can provide personalized guidance based on your unique financial situation and goals. Be wary of anyone promising guaranteed high returns with little to no risk. Such claims are almost invariably red flags. The approach for a novice investor should be one of prudence and consistency. Start with small, regular contributions, a strategy known as dollar cost averaging. This involves investing a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, regardless of market fluctuations. This method helps to average out your purchase price over time, mitigating the risk of investing a large sum near-dachshund at a market peak. Patience and discipline are your greatest allies in the world of investing. Resist the urge to react emotionally to short-term market volatility. Focus on your long-term plan, stay diversified, and allow the power of compounding and the growth of well-chosen assets to work for you over time. This steady, methodical approach is the proven path to building substantial and sustainable wealth. As we draw near the culmination of this initial exploration into financial empowerment, it is crucial to recognize that the principles and strategies discussed are not a finite destination, but rather the commencement of an ongoing, lifelong journey. Financial freedom is not a one-time achievement to be unlocked and then forgotten. It is a dynamic state, nurtured and sustained through continuous learning, disciplined application, and periodic adaptation to life's evolving circumstances. This final chapter serves not as an end, but as an embarkation point, instilling the understanding that true mastery of personal finance is an endless pursuit of wisdom and unwavering commitment. The habits you cultivate today, the knowledge you acquire, and the disciplined actions you take consistently will compound over time, shaping not just your financial reality, but the very fabric of your future. The journey to, and maintenance of, financial well-being necessitates a commitment to regular review and adjustment of your financial plan. Life is not static. Your income may change, your family circumstances may evolve, new financial goals may emerge, and economic conditions will inevitably fluctuate. Therefore, your financial plan must also be a living document, periodically revisited, at least annually, or whenever significant life events occur to ensure it remains aligned with your current reality and future aspirations. This involves reassessing your budget, reviewing the performance of your investments relative to your goals, not to their short-term market fluctuations, rebalancing your portfolio if necessary, and ensuring your emergency fund remains adequate. This proactive approach to financial stewardship transforms you from a passive observer of your financial fate into an active architect of your prosperity. Furthermore, the cultivation of positive financial habits is paramount for sustained success. This extends beyond mere budgeting and investing. It encompasses a commitment to lifelong learning in the realm of personal finance. Read books by respected financial authors, follow reputable financial news sources, but be wary of sensationalism, and engage with communities or mentors who share a commitment to sound financial principles. Authors like James Clear, in his work on atomic habits, emphasize the profound power of small, consistent improvements. Making a 1% improvement in your financial habits each day or each week can lead to an extraordinary transformation over time. This could be as simple as consistently tracking your expenses, dedicating a few minutes each day to financial education, or automating one more aspect of your financial life. The aggregation of these seemingly minor actions creates a powerful momentum. Resilience in the face of setbacks is also a critical component of this enduring journey. There will be times when market downturns affect your investments, or unexpected expenses strain your budget. These are not failures, but inevitable parts of the financial landscape. The key is not to be discouraged, but to learn from these experiences, to adjust your strategies if needed, and to remain steadfast in your long-term commitment. True financial discipline is most evident, not during times of ease, but during periods of challenge. Finally, remember that the pursuit of financial freedom is ultimately about more than just accumulating wealth. It is about creating choices, opportunities, and the capacity to live a life aligned with your deepest values. It is about having the resources to support your loved ones, pursue your passions, contribute to causes you believe in, and experience the world with a greater sense of security and possibility. The path we have outlined, from shifting your mindset to building practical financial systems and investing wisely, is accessible to everyone willing to embark on it with dedication and perseverance. The power to transform your financial destiny lies within you, waiting to be unleashed through consistent, informed action, starting today and continuing for a lifetime of growing wisdom and prosperity. This is not just a set of instructions. It is an invitation to a more empowered, intentional, and ultimately, a more fulfilling life. Take that first step. Your future self will thank you.